Yeah, so Comrade Beatbox Academy, we did the Scratch, original Scratch, which is part of the Homegrown Festival. We did a collaboration with the Dance Academy. They were also responding to Lord of the Flies. I've been kind of adapting this show over the last couple of years. We did our first performance last year, and we built on that this year. I guess right in the term I was on tour, so the group were working on different ideas and themes, as well as mainly developing their skills and devising musicality and beatbox and rapping skills, using the kind of theme of Lord of the Flies to do that. Kate, Donici and Paul Cree were leading those sessions, and we had Tyler Weatherton assisting them, which was really cool. I think that was it really whilst I was away. Was anyone else? I'm not sure. I think that's it, yeah. But also the participants also very skilled and creatively also in the craft of beatboxing and singing and rapping, and they were developing those skills. They came back off tour, and Kat and Celeste joined off tour to come and help facilitate and be kind of creative assistants. And Beatbox Academy is performer artist led, so although they're kind of leading the room and assisting me, also they have we're all artists, so they're also part of their performance in the show, as well as Kat doing some awesome choreography with the group and developing that. And one, it was great for the guys in the group, and hopefully that was a great experience for her as an artist to kind of develop choreography skills, and for them to develop their dancing skills and their movement skills, and learning how to kind of interpret things being given to you by an experienced dancer. And then Celeste was performing and singing and the beatboxing, rapping in the piece, but also did quite a lot of writing, so writing and developing the idea that I already had and kind of pushing it, and gave some great references of things to look at, and kind of have similar tastes. And we developed the scripts and Cat wrote some raps. And in the sessions, all the participants always been writing raps with different materials, and we put them together. We kind of weave them together. I like to kind of create as much material together and then slowly chip away at things and move things around and work modularly, as opposed to just relying on the script. I quite like the devising process, and also even if I do write stuff, for me the work starts once it's on his feet. The script is nothing. It's not nothing, because it's a map for performance. Unless it's just supposed to be a piece of literature, it's supposed to be a guidance for performance, and that's what this is. It's a live art, and actually you don't need a script, you don't need that. People get up and make incredible sounds, and really it's about being all from the mouth. Again, it's just another tool at our disposal. Same as a loop station, same as the mics. Really it's about our bodies and our experience. So we created our own version. So in the play it's about people in whatever current time you're setting your piece in, and they get stranded, but the world they're leaving behind actually has been destroyed somehow. There's been some sort of catastrophe, and we don't stipulate what that catastrophe is, but we do hint that there's a lot of confusion about who's done what, and who's to blame, and also fudging the data that it's all okay even though everything's about to be destroyed. And in the current world, we said it, there's a lot of things going on. So there's a lot of people's emotions are being ruled by AI, less choices for people to make things more efficient. Communication is being used by technology, as much things as possible. But when they get stranded, they're stranded in somewhere that's more nature bound, still perilous, but they're less bound to kind of all the mod cons of kind of the society that they're living in. But there are people that want to cling on to the past and cling on to the rules, so we come up with things like, being positive is really good for you, society, and actually the state is mandating that people need to do a certain amount of smiles every day, and that's to be recorded, and that's to keep the positivity up. Because at the end of the day, positivity up and captured everything. It's getting better. Smile for them, not for you, and things like that. And a lot of it is, a bit of an analogy about life, but it's also a lot about the storytelling in the story that we're telling. Anyway, we have lots of different songs, choreo. We have this voice that kind of is, repeatedly giving everyone this kind of these algorithmic messages, and we said it in their world, and with the questions of like, actually, how much is it good to start again, just wipe it all out, and how much do we want to cling on to the old ways, and the nuances in that, and also about our loss of connection, and finding it back to that, and going back to maybe the roots, because efficiency becomes like a snake kind of eating its own tail. It just keeps going round and round, and if you get rid of all of the hard bits and the gritty bits and the grimy bits, and we make it to everything so efficient and easy. I mean, actually, maybe if we just got rid of all people, and how far do you go, to be honest? I mean, to make things so efficient, what do we need to do? What are we here for then? To do nothing. But we've just, like all pieces of advice, we're posing the questions, we're posing those things, we want to make you feel something as opposed to just telling you and hitting you over the head with it. It's through our story. Maybe you might post these things, maybe not. Also, it's about creating interesting characters. Maybe you just like the characters, and maybe you like the form, sick rapping, singing, the fact that everything is live. And also, this is a good form to experiment with community chorus and see how, there wasn't a set moment for that, but the whole piece is a community piece. It's people of all different levels and ages coming together, and then finding ways to put all those different talents and skills together to tell one story and create just an interesting piece of theatre, basically. And Tyler, we'd like to use everyone's skills. So Tyler Worthington, aka Man Like Wizard, he did the graphic design for us for our t-shirts, and we came up with some kind of sci-fi kind of esque symbols that some people, we had these two dots that are eyes that start with we're watching you, and then the other people are the smiles. Like, we're actually positive, like we're just keeping this shit going. And actually, how positive is it about keeping stuff going how it is, or is it? Maybe there is positive. No one's can be totally sure. But the piece at the end of the day is obviously, like most pieces, should end positive, and it does. We can actually rebuild this, and we can all be together, and maybe listening to everyone else, like, we have to listen to ourselves and just be good people and be together. And we are going to make mistakes. Being good isn't about, some false sense of like perfect. Anyway, it was a sick piece, and it was a great process to go on. And again, working on this with all of the facilitators and the creatives was really fun. Again, did a lot of writing with Celeste, and a lot of movement and creating with Kat as well. And then in the sessions, it was great to have Nadine back, who wasn't in around this much, but of course she was in Deep Azure, at the Globe, Chadwick Boseman, Kate's been on tour of the Royal National Ballet. Sometimes people go off, and it's brilliant that they're getting those opportunities, and it allows other people to grow, and then people come back and everyone's collaborating and still on board. And stalwarts of the Academy, Paul Cree, who's been working for People's Academy for, I don't know, 16 years, I don't know, maybe less, maybe more. Probably around something like that, 14 years. So he's a newcomer, really. But yeah, it felt like a moment just to kind of like just put this down and record this, and anyone who listens to these ramblings, and also for myself to look back at. I feel like it's an exciting moment for the academy, which probably means we're going to be shut down next week. But it reminds me again of when we made Frankenstein. It was something brand new and everyone coming together and something quite magical. And even if we don't have the opportunity to continue this in some way, or I don't continue writing this, it still feels like I would underline it and say what an amazing performance on Scratch. Everyone performed their asses off and it was great and incredible. And hopefully in some way the legacy of Originals lives on. Because I love the song and I love the piece, and the world building that we've done, all the rules and stuff, and yeah, who knows, but Beatbox Academy lives on. We're still teaching people how to be creative, make friends, and beatbox, and also sing, write, rap, direct, choreograph. It's I went to BHC and learned all those things, and people just doing that for themselves. And it is a special place, and I feel like I'm a custodian of all the people that helped to bring me up. Sarah Golding, Liz Morton, and everyone else, Richard Duffy, David Job, Sasha Evans, Aaron Morrison. I had brilliant people who championed me, and people that even support me and stuff. Like the old head of acting, he's 15, because I wouldn't be in a show. I've been very lucky, and I feel very lucky that I get to work with incredible singers, incredible beatboxers, and to see them grow, to see people like come into themselves as writers and directors and in performance, to see Nadine doing like amazing harmonies and singing and beatboxing and guiding other young people, and there can't be many experiences. Maybe there are lots of experiences like this, but then for me to also still be creating and writing for the theatre and just for polka, and still, still being an artist, but being able to kind of, I don't know, just watch everyone else's journey and be part of it and be peers and friends and continue to create. It's not easy, but it's been great. Thank you, Kayla, our new producer. Originals, absolute triumph. We smashed it. Everyone smashed it. Unfortunately, I haven't name checked everyone, but if you were there, you don't need any sorts of outside validation. You know what you did. And peace.